Hey, good morning. We have ourselves an American Pro Stratocaster here for a basic setup. He wants it so that the bridge is decked. We're going to go from a set of 9s to a set of Ernie Ball 10s. If you like what you see here, I would really appreciate it if you would hit the like, subscribe, and the bell. I'd like you a long time. Anyhow, let's see what we got here. Okay, so you see the tuning machines here. If I can get this tilted the right way, there we go. You have your 3 wound strings that have a taller post. Actually, no, just the first 2 have a taller post, and then the D, G, B, and E have the shorter post. So they give you a little bit more of an angle without needing 2 string trees, which is great. Otherwise, he says that he's not really getting the sound he likes out of the pickups, and I'm seeing that they're really sunk into the body here. Get you in the picture. Over here, and yeah, they're way too low. And on the high side, they're also too low. So that would be a reason for that. Okay, so we got the strings off, and a lot of people will go and use just a standard set of Allen wrenches like this here, a short stubby one. And they go in there and they jack up the walnut plug because the truss rod's further in and you just reach it by the time you get to the bend of the truss rod. What you should have is the longer one that's actually made by Fender to reach in there and not goon up the truss rod. So a little tight, but it works. You want to put a bit of a tightening on that. You left a lot of the polishing stuff in there. I'm going to try to get that out in the course of doing this. Make sure that our string tree is tight. Wasn't. There it is. 10mm socket. You always want to come and snug up the bushings on your tuning machines. I got somewhere, there it is, fret eraser. There's actually pretty spanky frets on this. The fingerboard edges are rolled really nicely. Just want to take off any oxidation. I'm starting to get some little bit of wear down here in the cowboy cord area. Not uncommon. And we're going to clean up the fretboard with some, I gotta get some more Simple Green. Simple Green and toothbrush. Take all the DNA off of there. This is appears to be anyway, a rosewood fingerboard before they switched over to the hollow ferro. And simple green will not hurt your nitro finish, your poly finish. Won't hurt the wood. It's a good, safe cleaner. Alright, so we got the strings out. We're putting Ernie Ball 1046 on it, and he seemed to think there were Fender strings on it. There weren't Fender strings on it. I don't know what they were, but they weren't Fender bullets. They had the same kind of ends like these have. We cranked the claw in quite a bit because it was lifting off the body, the bridge. It was lifting off the body with 9s. It wasn't all the way down. So I cranked it in a good 1/4 inch plus, and hopefully that'll be enough to keep it from lifting off the back. He wants it to be synchronous, so that way if he does want to use the arm, it'll be just to dive only, not come up in pitch. So the bridge is down on the body. He says it really doesn't use the bar anyhow. So I wish Fender would kind of get that, enact that option again, where you can have a hardtail Strat for those of us who never use a bar, because they're always going out of tune and yada yada yada. Okay, now we're going to hit the fingerboard with some F1. Once again, this won't hurt your nitro finish. If you get some on, you just wipe it off. That looks really nice. They did a super nice job on the fretwork on this. Nice rolled edges on the fingerboard. No sharp fret ends. Just a beautiful guitar. Alright, so looks spanky, huh? Except for the fingerprints all over the body. So I'm going to go ahead and string it up, stretch the strings in, and check our adjustments and clean up the body. Okay, we're all strung up, and I'm going to put some, even though we're not using it as a trem type guitar, I'm going to put some Big Ben's nut sauce in the slots. And that seems to be what makes it work the best. I want your guitar to go out of tune. And that stays in place. You can put it right over top of the... Actually, I'm going to use something different down here. Where's my lid? There it is. Use this stuff here, Super Lube. This actually you can put right on top of the string, and it will work its way in. stretch the string. And it doesn't go anywhere. When you're done setting it up, you simply wipe it off, and actually did loosen off just a little bit so we could have room, so I'm going to go ahead and tighten it back up again. Okay, yeah, you know what, I'm going to have to add a spring to the back. That's okay, we got springs. Let me just loosen this off a little bit. I thought that would happen. There's just no more room for the claw to move. So we'll flip her over. Loosen the claw a little bit. Take this spring and move it over here. And grab a spring over here. Lock it down there. Tighten our arm down a little bit, or our claw. You just want it to be very close to the same distance between the two screws from the cavity. And we'll tune it back up. Alright, and that definitely did a job. The bridge is now down to the body. Alright, so I'm going to let it sit for a bit, and we're going to come back and recheck the truss rod, or the relief, make sure it is where it should be. Okay. So we got our string height set, and let's go back to double checking our truss rod, which needed more of a turn than I thought it would need. That's really nice. It's just snaking under here, and so it's right in the sweet spot. So let's check our string height. We're at 464, 464, a hair more than 464, 464, 464, 464. And that's really hard to see. Yeah, that's 464. Now if we come up here to the 17th, it's almost 564. Less than 564, less than 564, less than 564. A hair more than 464 and a hair more than 464. So we're right where we want to be. Intonation. See, when you put things back where they're supposed to be, it's amazing how things will almost line up for you. There we go. The last thing we got to do is pickup height. And I think I have a pickup height machine right here. Now, if you recall from earlier in the video, they were way low. Like sunken into the body low. That's right. That could come up just a little bit more. A little bit more. Good. And that one can go up a little bit. A little bit more. And a little bit more. Boy, my micro adjustments are just not where I want them to be. Ah, there we go. Okay, now the other side, which needs to be a little closer to the string. Preemptively hit them all the same amount. Still too low, still too low. I'll come across and do it all again. Now, the customer was telling me that the G was sounding too loud compared to the other strings, but it depends on the pickup position. Most all of the pickups have the G and the D poles raised for that vintage sound. So you're going to get that, hopefully, by making these adjustments. Okay, the neck is right, the bridge is almost right. Bridge is right. This one's still going to come up. Hate those plastic things. Okay, that's right, that's right, that's right. Okay. The bridge is decked. Okay, so we're going to call this done until Joe Customer. Ha! There you go, Bentley, there you go, I changed it for you. Okay, so what did we do? We didn't do anything to the nut. That was cut perfectly. We did adjust the truss rod. We tightened it probably a half a turn. One, because it was too loose with the old strings, which are 9s. Then we put heavier strings on it, which put more tension on it, so we had to adjust more. Set intonation. We also added a 4th spring to deck the trim to the body, but if he uses the bar, he can still go down. We lubed all the saddles, we lubed the nut, we lubed under the string tree. Oh, we had a loose output jack. So what I did was I unscrewed the 2 screws, loosened off the nut a little bit more, because once loose it's going to get loose again. So I backed it off a little bit and took a little bit of the blue Loctite, 1 drop will do you, and dropped it behind the plate onto the threads of the screws. So, and we tightened that back down, so that's not going anywhere. I guess last thing we got to do is a sound test. Those frets are so smooth. Alright, so everything works, and we're going to let it sit overnight. Call Joe Customer and tell him to come and get it. Thank you for joining us down here in the underground lair where we tackled this 2019 Stratocaster that wasn't set up right. And if you like what you see here, please subscribe and like and hit the bell on the YouTube channel, Stringman Guitars. If you need your axe sharpened in the greater Pittsburgh area, please send me a message on Facebook. And take care of yourself, take care of your friends, and be good to yourselves. Stay safe out there. Peace.